So, ever since I was little, I've always known I was a boy. I thought I was a boy when I was, 3 years old playing in the bathtub. I'd slick my hair back. Me and my little sister would just pretend we were boys because we seriously thought we were. We used to play boyfriend and girlfriend with our best friends that we've known since we were little teeny tiny. And, that was it. I just always thought I was a boy. I felt like a boy. And when I got older, when I hit about 9, my mom noticed, and she decided, enough is enough. I want my little girl. So she made me grow my hair out. I'd never had long hair before then. And made me get a perm, which was the worst mistake of my life. Well, one of them. And she made me join ballet and tap dance and all this shit that I just hated. And I wasn't allowed to quit. So when I hit about 15 years old, my mom still thought that I wasn't girly enough for her. I was going through a gothic phase, a really weird phase in my life. And she decided that I needed to join the Girl Scouts. So I never told anybody. None of my friends knew I was in the Girl Scouts, because at that time I was just this stoner kid. I was never fucking home. I hated school. I hated fucking, just everything. I hated people, and fucking, I'd always been told, that, because I grew up in a very Christian home, that if you're a girl, you're a girl. If you're a boy, you're a boy. If you're gay, you're going to hell. And that's it. Pink and blue, pink and blue, pink and blue. Just like most families. And I didn't know what trans was. It didn't exist. It was taboo. It was just some myth. So I got really, really depressed after that. And I didn't know why. I thought, I just didn't fit in. I was different. So I got really depressed, and I attempted suicide a couple times. But then I ended up leaving home. I got kicked out for a little while when I was 15, and so I just left. And I lived in a squat for a while, and I'd always been kind of a street kid, or whatever you want to call it. Fucking still really depressed. And then so when I turned 16, after dropping out of high school, I realized, maybe I should do something. So I started Job Corps, and this is when I first realized that what trans was. So this is what this video is about, kind of. So when I first realized what trans was I met a trans guy, the very first trans guy I ever met. His name was Joker, and I went to Job Corps with him. He was in my dorm, and he was legally female still. He's on hormones and everything, and he looked like a guy. He acted like a guy. He was a guy. They put him in the girls' dorm, which is really fucked up, actually. And I heard what people called him. They called him it. They called him thing. He wasn't a human. But he is. He's a person, but he wasn't human. And that's how he was treated. And it's really sad. And I saw that. So I didn't tell anybody I was trans. I didn't tell anybody that I felt like a boy. Because I didn't want to be an it. I thought that I could just, at that point, pray it away. So after Job Corps, I fucking started going through this hyper feminine phase. So I started really dressing like a girl, trying to grow my hair out. It never worked. I always had a mohawk, but it was like this weird hyper punk rock feminine phase I went through. I mean, the punk rock wasn't a phase. It's always been prominent, but I started wearing tight pants, or not really dresses still, but tight pants. But bras, fucking wear bras. Started wearing makeup, which is weird. Plucking my eyebrows, drawing them on. So I looked kind of funny. I was actually a pretty hot girl, to admit. You know. So, you know, I after that, you know, I was still really depressed, and I didn't know why, so I decided, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna go travel. So there started my self-destructive phase. I was still going through the hyper-feminine phase the whole time. So I started hitchhiking, and it was whatever, it was fun. I'd done it before when I was 15. And that lasted, so that was from like 17, 18 to 20. I was hitchhiking and I was riding freight trains, and, you know, like, so about this time last year, I was in Ogden, Utah, and it was 3 feet of snow, and I was stuck there for a few weeks. And at that point I said, enough is enough. I'm going back home, and I'm going to make something of my life. So I hitchhiked back to Coeur d'Alene. And rather than going to California from there on a train, because it was warm, and I tried to get a job. So I got back 3 days flat. Fucking quickest I've ever fucking hitchhiked through Utah. Well, through Montana and everything. I mean, so it wasn't that far. It took me 3 days, 3 straight rides, easy as fuck. And yeah, whatever. So I tried to get a job, and then I decided, you know, I'm going to try and prove to myself that I'm a girl, and prove to everybody that I'm a fucking girl. So I decided to go to beauty school. I quit drinking, decided to go to beauty school, and, you know, it was great. I loved it. I loved doing hair, but I was still depressed. And I met this girl. This beautiful fucking girl. Second trans person I ever met. The most wonderful person I've ever fucking met. And she opened my eyes. So 4 months into beauty school, I came out. I came out to her. Her and I had never really hung out outside of school before that. She wasn't even going to school at this point when I came out. But I came out to her because I knew that she'd get it. And after that, I opened my mouth to everybody. I was like, hey, guess what? I'm a boy. I think I'm a boy. I feel like a boy. Do you get that? No? Oh, okay, whatever. Fuck you. So, that girl is my current girlfriend now. We started hanging out after that a lot, and one thing led to another. She saw how depressed I was because the doctor that I went to wouldn't put me on hormones. And she found a doctor for me. She, like, without her, I don't know where the fuck I'd be. I'd be dead somewhere. And, you know, like, immediately after that, I got put on T. And so I'm 3.5 months on testosterone now, because of my beautiful girlfriend that I love so very much. And, you know, I decided to make this video because I'd never really said much about myself, except that I went to beauty school and that I'm kind of an ass. So that, I hope that this video helps some people. If it helps one person, I'll be okay with that. Like, I'll be happy with it. And, you know, transitioning was my last option. If I didn't do it, if I didn't start, I'd be dead. I would have killed myself. I've failed so many attempts, but that doesn't mean that I'll fail every attempt, you know. Eventually, I would succeed. And I'm done with that. And finally. And I'm finally happy. But so, yeah. So this is my 3.5 month on testosterone video. And I know that it was probably boring and really long, but I had to get that off my chest. And I've been trying to make this video for a few hours. Just, I've had kids screaming in my ear. Okay. Well, bye.